Hello, I'm Miss Kathleen, and I'm really happy you decided to join us today for LABrary. Today is the second part of our program on aerodynamics and air. This is the part of the program where we kind of review what we talked about last week and what we did. And then we'll share what we made from our LABrary challenge from last week. We talked about the makeup or composition of air. Do you remember what air is mostly made of? Yes, that's right. It's made of about 80% hydrogen and 20% oxygen. I showed you these two diagrams on this poster I made that illustrate the composition of air. There are some very small bits of other gases as well. We talked about a teeny little bit of argon, some water vapor, and there's also some dust. So that's what we breathe in. If you remember, we talked about breathing out carbon dioxide and oxygen. We can't see the air, right? But we can feel it, and the air can be acted on, right? We talked about aerodynamics, or the property of air being acted on. When we say something is aerodynamic, that means that it can act in the air without being pulled to the ground by drag, at least for a short while. Speaking of drag, do you remember the other components that we talked about that help to make and keep an airplane or even a paper airplane in the air? I showed you this illustration. Do you remember the muscle? That shows us thrust. And then the arrows and the lines illustrate lift. That's the air helping to keep the plane up for a period of time. And then there's drag. The weight of the airplane is now greater than the lift, so the airplane can't stay up. And then there's gravity. Gravity is what pulls the plane and everything else back down to earth again. We watched some short video clips of an airplane taking off and of a helicopter flying, and we observed its blades spinning around. And then we watched one of me trying out my very basic airplane. Our challenge last time was to make our own paper airplane and color it and make it personalized. I also asked if you would try to get some of your family members to do it with you. Mom, dad, brothers, sisters, cousins, whoever's around. That way it would be more fun when you timed how long your paper airplanes could stay in the sky. Do you remember that I said the world record is 30 seconds? If you haven't done the challenge yet, that's okay. You can still do it and have a good time. I also challenge you to make a whirlybird or a dragonfly helicopter. I shared those directions with you last week. Again, those links are in last week's video, so if you missed them, go ahead and watch that one. I went ahead and made a quick dragonfly helicopter from a straw and some pieces of a paper plate. It flies best when you stand up from a height, like up on a ladder, and you watch it fall with style, like Buzz Lightyear. And here is my paper airplane that I decorated. I did kind of a stained glass effect on it. Smells like fruit salad because I use scented markers. Okay, so here is the tip that I learned. If you're not using tape, you should have the folded parts on the top when you fly your paper airplane because it's more aerodynamic that way. And here's a little video of it flying outside this time. Let's count how long it stayed in the air. All right, that's all I have for today. Thanks so much for joining me and Mr. Travis today for LABrary. We hope to see you here next week at the same time when I'll share some more interesting facts and we'll talk about a new challenge. Goodbye for now.